for years I pitched to my clients, like,
Hmm.
don't shop me, don't leave me, all these things, right? Because I'm a partner, I'm whatever. But I maybe wasn't actually being a partner. What I was really trying to do is like a guilt trip, right?
Yeah.
And so we've had to live it, right? And
Yeah.
so the reason why, and I'm not perfect at it, right?
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about my guest. I'm excited about the topic that he's going to talk about. I think, and not I think, because we've been talking about it. We kind of have a kind of archaic, and that's to use his word, kind of mindset around this topic. And I know for me, just interviewing different people, I'm starting to think about it from a different perspective. But I definitely know I was fixed in a way when I thought about this specific topic and how it can really help within the real estate space. So I'm so glad he's here, because I believe he's going to bring a ton of value and really enlighten us on thinking about this differently. And so I'm so excited to introduce you all to Mr. Matt. Why, Mr. Matt? Mr. Matt Suka.
You
Suka.
got it. You
Look
got
at
it.
it.
You got
Yes.
it. You got it. He's like
So
I
I want to
said,
put
you
some
always
respect on that name.
think of the Phil Collins song, and you go soon,
Absolutely.
soon, soon, and you'll get
Yeah.
it every time.
So I was gonna marry a girl named Tika. And so that's where I think, and it's spelled, the spelling is in your name. And I think that's where my mind drift to. So,
That's actually the number one I get is Sutika. That's
yeah,
usually,
yeah, yeah,
and that's when
yeah.
I know it's a cold call or
Yeah,
you
yeah, absolutely. Listen, man,
Sutika.
I'm so glad you're here today, man. And I'm gonna be honest, brother, because I want you to shine the light on this topic. So I want to dive in, man. I want you to tell the people what your main focus is these days. Mr. Matt, I would love if you can give us like a little bit of an origin story, kind of how you got into this space. And if you don't mind, man, tell them what part of the world you're in. I know people love to know if people is kind of close to them, maybe they can reach out, get in contact with you. So let them know what you're doing, the origin story of your journey, and where you are in the world. So, Mr. Matt, sir, you have the floor.
All right, all right. Well, I'll start with the fun part. I'm here in sunny Florida. I'm not sure if my camera, we might on the one side right there, looks like there's the little palm tree you can see. So down here
Yeah, I
in
see it. Yep, I see it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, down here in Sarasota, Florida. I'm a Michigan, Chicago guy, born and raised, but been down here about the last 4 or 5 years since the pandemic. And I will tell you that I wish I would have known that you can live in Florida my whole life, because I thought it was only where you went to retire or vacation. And now living down here, I won't even go into the no taxes and some other things, but it is great. So I love Florida. This is our new office. Actually, you can see behind. We just moved in a few weeks ago. It's very bright, and so if you're in the area, stop by. My business is called Nimble, and really we are 100% concentrated in the multifamily insurance, apartment insurance, real estate insurance. There's so many different ways to classify it, but ultimately we write a lot of insurance for people who own 1 to 400 unit per location apartments across the country is to kind of give some dynamic.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Gotten into that over time. I've been an insurance nerd my whole life. Started working in my dad's state farm, early on, opened my own state farm right out of college around, I was about 21 years old, 22 years old. And through that, my journey really to real estate was I eventually helped build an insurance company for Century 21 real estate firm. Through that, I started seeing that I'm like, hey, I really like this whole escrow billing, home dynamic, where I grew up in the auto space, right, which is transactional and tough, especially with the little gecko and flow coming in and saving you 15% in 10 minutes. It makes it tough to compete, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So and the technology. So through that journey, randomly I mentioned the North. I went to Michigan State. Shout out to my Spartans this weekend in the tournament. But my college suite mate got into buying apartments through like a syndication company, and we did a first apartment. I was like, man, I spent the same amount of time writing this apartment, right, dealing with like a business owner as I would writing a homeowner's policy, and the income is 30x, on the revenue. So yeah, that got me interested, and then from there, my journey's just been simple. I've done the insurance on the multifamily space, used some of those proceeds or some of my earnings to invest back into the space, and I didn't realize it when I started that journey, but it really has made me better on the insurance side. Every deal I do on the real estate side and every clearly deal I do on the insurance side allows me more opportunity to invest, back into real estate. And that's really how Nimble was born over the last 5 years, is that um, my team speaks the language. I always say we're kind of got that Rosetta Stone type of feature where we can talk to our insurance nerdy people on our side with the carriers and then kind of translate that over and talk per door and cap rates over here and NOI and kind of, really help bridge the gap. And our principle of our company now is really getting people to understand that, and even for me, it used to be all about money and savings, and I'm going to try to quote you and whatever. And now our really approach is, how do we use insurance as a tool to affect your NOI, your closing, your proceeds in a positive way, right? And really not be about coverage and all those things that like my team's got to do. We got to cover you correctly. The lender's going to make sure you're covered correctly. But how do I use it as a tool to make sure you close on time? You are hitting your numbers. You are maybe not having to bring proceeds out of refi. You're not getting proceeds cut last minute, right? And then how to use insurance up front compared to a savior on the back end. So that's where we're at today. We specialize in that space across 50 states, and we're very honed in. We're not doing auto, we're not doing florist shops or workers' comp here. This is what we do, and it's really our expertise.
Absolutely, man. Love it, man. Love it. Listen, Tom Izzo is probably one of my favorite coaches, man. So,
Oh,
so yeah, so I love Tom, man. I love the green and white. So absolutely, brother. I appreciate you bringing
it's
that up.
it's a good week. It's a good week.
Yeah.
We have Michigan State plays UConn in basketball in the Sweet 16, and our hockey team also plays UConn. And then we got opening day for my Detroit Tigers. It's
Oh, come on. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get work in this week with all the sports I gotta watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Leave me alone. I'm busy right now. Yeah.
I did the
No,
podcast right now because I got the rest of the week is booked with my TV and my sports.
absolutely. I love it, man. And I'm gonna get back more to Nimble. I want to peek into you a little bit, man, because I just love the way you think, man. And I have 20 years, in the insurance industry. I love the way you think. I love the way you are causing other people to rethink about the insurance space. And I have a saying Mr. Matt?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Where I say destiny has no wasted moments, right? So meaning like no matter what we go through on this journey called life, we borrow from moments to make us who we are today. And so sometimes like we reflect and we can sometimes see the lead up to why I love helping people. I love how you talked about the way y'all changed philosophy. And now it's like, how can I, save you money so you don't have to go into your retirement? Don't you have to go into like these different areas? And so I see the philosophy change, and I see how you're really trying to help people and let them know, hey, let's use insurance as a tool. But I just want to know, where does this mindset of kind of rethinking insurance come from? So my question is, throughout the moments, throughout the years, 20 years, what have these moments taught you about yourself? Has it taught you discipline, resiliency? Has it taught you to like just look at things and life differently? Like, what has these moments in this journey taught you about yourself, bro?
Yeah. First, I think any entrepreneur that survives 5 years, let alone 20 years, that's watching this, you have to be resilient. I mean, I, I would love for everybody to tell me as an entrepreneur that they had no hard times and they've had no bad moments. But I mean, I've had 2 cents in my bank account to make payroll. I've cried at the desk.
Yeah,
I've had, let's call it lawyer stuff. I've had partners leave, partners come. Well,
yeah,
I've had it all, right? And I probably have had 1/10 of what the next guy or gal has probably had too. But I think the number one thing is you just got to be resilient. You have to, be able to handle an immense amount of stress. And I think the more important thing that I like to share is, and I didn't realize this until I started getting married and having kids, is that, you know, how much you have to have that under control for your family, right? And I think that's the biggest impact that I care about more now when I talk to people. It used to be like, hey, I'd immediately sit down and like, let's talk about your P&L, let's talk about this, right? And now it's like, my questions are more like, what do you got going on at home? Because that has actually been the hardest part of my journey as an entrepreneur. It was easy when I was single, and it was easy even when I was first getting married. But when that first kid came, that was the first time in my life that when I wake up on a Saturday, work was not the first thing I cared about or thought about, right? And so that was unique for me, right?
yeah,
Because I used to be the guy that my parents would get worried about, like, hey, you work too much, that's all. Or I'd be sitting at dinner with my parents and I'd be just still thinking about a P&L and whatever. So I think those are the things that you go through. Is it's not only the journeys you have to battle, as you just develop your companies and you do things with customers and all that other stuff that you got to do when you're at the desk. But it's, if you're an entrepreneur, and you have to grow, as a person along the way, and all
yeah,
the things that change for you on the personal side that are just, they're right in your business. Out of the corner of my eye right now, I got the wife with documents in her hand because I got to sign something or whatever. And she doesn't know I'm recording this podcast and she's up here because she's the real boss, right? And, so she's probably sitting out there so mad at me that she's going to have to wait because I see my one team member out in the corner telling her, like, he's on a podcast, and that's the real life, right? Like, that's the real that,
yeah,
if I wasn't recording, my butt would be out there signing whatever she wants me to sign or do. It's probably like a kindergarten field trip release or something, that was so urgent at 11 o'clock, but that's what you got to do, right? Because
yeah, yeah,
that person allows me to. Last night I was out with carriers till 1, working on a program, and different things like that. And, she take care of the boys. So that's the real stuff that a lot of
yeah,
entrepreneurs just don't talk about. They just want to talk about the P&L, right? How things
yeah,
are going or their next Series A, things like that that
yeah,
makes the CNBC headlines. But it's
yeah,
all that other stuff that really, I think, makes the success.
yeah. Man, thank you for bringing that perspective in, bro. I appreciate that. When you was talking, It reminded me when I was younger, my dad has a saying.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Where he would say, I pay the cost to be the boss, right? That's what he
Mm-hmm.
would say. And I really thought when I was younger, it meant like, yeah, I beat my chest. I'll pay the cost to be the boss. The more I started analyzing what my dad did, I understand what he meant. My dad was a nurturer, hard worker, but his presence was felt like me and my wife, we have a saying where we say, your presence is a present, right?
Yep.
It was, I'm 44 and my dad is still a father to me. And what I realized when he was saying I paid the cost to be the boss, it's the sacrifice of love that he had for his family to put everything in perspective, to put work life in perspective. My dad, he's a pastor, so he's been pastoring for 40 years, and so that's kind of like a business in itself, right? And so I
Absolutely.
watched him make business and financial decisions, but I watched him do everything from a place of love for his family. And when he said, I pay the cost to be the boss, he means I love you so much. It's that I'm going to do whatever it takes to sacrifice. And in return, we honored him. He didn't have to squeeze us into submission. It was his love that really made us honor and reverence everything that he did. So I love that perspective, man, that now that you're talking to people about how's your family, you're really getting to know them, because that's the engine. That's where everything pours from. This is why we do what we do. It's for our family. And I love that perspective. I love you brought that. And I asked that question because I want to get perspectives just like that. Because I tell people, I tell every business owner, whether it's business, whether it's real estate, the one constant thing in this is you. You're the constant in your business is you. And so you have to have something that grounds you. You have to have a perspective. You have to know your why. And so, man, I'm so glad you brought that perspective in this conversation, brother.
No, I appreciate it goes back to the business. You asked the question of really, you know, why I changed this dynamic of, looking at things as a tool compared to a line item. And that's part of it, right? Or, the reasoning with it is that for years I pitched to my clients, like,
Hmm.
don't shop me, don't leave me, all these things, right? Because I'm a partner, I'm whatever. But I maybe wasn't actually being a partner. What I was really trying to do is like a guilt trip, right?
Yeah.
And so we've had to live it, right? And
Yeah.
so the reason why, and I'm not perfect at it, right?
Yeah.
I hope my clients think I am, but like, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
It's just like I had to find ways to give them value that wasn't putting some quotes together, right?
Yeah.
Or, and so we had to change our mindset so that they could change their mindset. So when I really
Yep.
do talk to my clients now and say, hey, over 5 years, there will be a time, right? I'm always going to get you good quotes. I'm going to be competitive 90 some percent of the time. Will we have the best quote 100 out of 100? Probably not. There's always a random local, kick or whatever. But 9 out of 10 times, we're going to be competitive for you and we're going to get you through. But here's the real thing. Over 5 years, one property, 10 properties you have, there's going to be a time that's more important than the 1,000 savings here or the 2,000 savings here, where you're going to really need a real effort on my end, right?
Mhm.
To cut commission, make a change, call a favor, split something, do whatever it is that you need, right? To
Yeah.
get through a refi, right? We just had some tough years where people were losing their loans because they couldn't get the refi out because they couldn't, raise the proceeds, right? Like that they
Yeah.
needed to, get there, right? And that's when you're going to need me because all of a sudden now you're supposed to bring, you know, $300,000 to the table for closing. And now you come to me and it's like, look, I can find 15,000, 30,000 in savings because I'm going to do this and this and that. at a 10 multiple, let's say, now I cleared your proceeds. Now you don't need to
Yeah.
go raise capital. Now you don't have to go ask your other GPs for more
Yeah.
money, or maybe half the money, right? And that's really the game of life. And then through that, I got to be able to build some relationships as much as I can. And truth be told, that's gotten tougher and tougher as we've grown, because I would love to sit and talk to every one of my clients every single day, and I can't. But the thing that's been of value is that I've built this team that's been with me. On average, I don't have anybody really too much less than 10 years on average that's been with me, and they talk like me. They're better looking than me, of course, but they have the things where there's not that drop off, right?
Yeah.
And that's been the establishment over the last 3 years, is that I got to get my team to be able to talk to my clients and give them the same value, be able to give them the same security. That historically someone always wants to talk to the boss, always wants to
Yeah.
talk. Oh, let me talk to Matt. I love what you're saying. I've worked with you, but I still got to hear it from Matt first.
Yeah.
And that's been the big transition the last couple of years, is that
Mm.
I've seen these clients that now have trust in my other team members, partners at the business. And that's really taken us to the next level, because we could be more for our clients that way, right? The fact
Yeah.
that they trust more than just me, right?
Mm.
We just cannot talk to everybody, even though I would love to. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible, right?
Mm. I agree.
It's the same with doctors or anything like that. Surgeons, the reason surgeons aren't, putting the IV in and whatever, like, they got to do as many surgeries as they can in the day, right?
Yeah.
And so as you establish that team, I think that's also really helped be able to go. And then the last thing, if you have the team, you have the trust, and then you have the experience, that's when you really see how dynamic you can be.
Yeah.
Because now you're hitting on all sides, right? You got your people trust you that you're going to do the right thing. You have the experience to do the right thing, and then you have a team who can execute in a very efficient and quick manner.
Yeah.
And that's where we've really seen us in just the last few years really take that next level up, which has been cool.
Yeah, and I told you, I knew we was gonna come back around to this, man. I knew he was gonna come back around to talking about um what relationships, right? And
Mhm.
when we was talking earlier, the word that popped in my head was actually the word community. And I say on this part a lot, is that community is common unity, right? It's people doing common unity, pushing a vision forward the same way, doing different things, right? You got different people that are doing different aspects, but we're pushing this community effort toward and forward in the same way. And I think what I hear you saying is that you built a culture in a community, and people, they talk like you, and it sounds like you are empowering them to be who they are at the same time. And this is what I say, Matt, and I firmly believe this: healing happens in community. When you build an ecosystem where everybody's thriving, where people feel empowered, where people feel safe, when people feel like there's trust, healing happens. Like there's less mental baggage because there's trust there. Sometimes it transfers to the physical because you feel good mentally, you feel good physically. And so when I say healing, I mean the word healing means to be made whole. Like people feel a wholeness within the ecosystem because it's common unity. Everybody's thriving. We know what we're doing for our clients. The clients feel it because when they talk to you and talk to somebody else, it's the same thing they getting. Like it's like a revolving loop of conversation, a revolving loop of trust, a revolving loop of concern. And so when I hear you talk, man, I hear that you built a culture and a community at Nimble. That's what I hear, man.
I appreciate that. That's actually, and one of the first times you and I are chatting through, as you get to know, me, and we build on a relationship. I mentioned the office, behind here. We don't have a lot of clients that visit our office, not in a bad way, just most of my clients are all over the country, and we do a lot of our communication at events or calls or emails, whatever. So we really built our office here, which is really cool and near and dear to me, um, for the team, right?
Yeah.
So we have about 90% of the team here in the office. Everyone, for the most part, just, not really planned or anything, has young kids. And the amount of kids, are coming in here on their days off or records day, and they're working here.
Come on.
And so that's the culture that and I'm glad you brought that up, is that I really do want, because I learned so much sitting in the back of my dad's office, right? About life, about accounting, about real stuff. And so we have, I think it's close to about like 14 kids, all under the age of like 10 or
Mm.
12. And it's so cool to see them come in. We got the desk set up and everything like that. Now, mind you, everyone tells me I'm recruiting the future team, but uh,
You master
you
strategist.
know,
I hear it.
maybe a couple, but in general, it's good, right? And that bleeds through to our social media, bleeds through, and it's one of my most favorite things that I get online is when
Yeah.
people in the business world comment about my kid, comment about the what we did at the office, all those things like that, because my mission and insurance has been very simple since I was very young at my State Farm was it's a liking contest. It's not
Right.
you know, I want people to like me.
Yep.
They will know that I do insurance, right? And have
Hmm.
expertise, and they will eventually want to do business. I've never
Yeah.
been that call me for a quote, like,
Yeah.
whatever,
Right.
because I don't think that sells, right? I want to be there and I want to kind of be a little like in your mind. So when you have something happen, you think of, I used to, it was my State Farm pitch when I was young. I was like, I would tell people I had it memorized over and over again. I don't know if I'm as good at it anymore, but I'd be like, I want you to think of Matt Sutika State Farm, and it was like that repeatable thing. But it was really what I set out to do. I never asked anybody for a quote. I just wanted to meet 10 people a day, 100 people a day, whatever it was, because I was like, I knew that when they have a claim or a bill goes up or whatever, I just wanted to think about Matsuka State Farm, it was like
Yeah.
back in
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
younger salesy days, right?
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
the pitch, and it's the same thing now. It's just that I want to build a community for the team. I want people to see what we're doing and everything like that, and then when they have a need, they'll feel comfortable coming, and that branding and that atmosphere, community, everything you mentioned has been not overnight, right?
Yeah.
It's taken a while, but we're there, and it's really cool, and I love sharing now this experience with my 4 and 2-year-old,
Mm.
which is just absolutely the best thing about it.
Yeah, man, I just want you to realize how rare. Of course, I haven't took no poll, but I've talked to a lot of people. I do a lot of shows, and I just want you to know how rare it is to hear about a culture where kids are coming into the office. So I just want you to realize there's something special that you're building,
I
and
appreciate
so
that.
I mean, I've it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I love because you are part of the engine, if not the engine, but part of the engine that make Nimble run. But also, before we get out of here, I do want to leave in people's mind about Nimble itself. So I would love for you to tell me what's the next real goal that you guys are looking for? What are you looking to solve at scale next, man?
Yeah. Uh, the biggest thing for me is to bring some technology. I always joke, not Elon Musk technology, because our industry is a little bit still Stone Age, right? But I want to bring some more technology. I'm very interested. We're working on and should be launching our digital quote through our platform here soon, which is again not Elon Musk technology, but for our space, it's a next step. It's helpful. I'm very interested in AI, and there's probably 100 people out there in the insurance space that know more than me, and then probably 1,000 that pretend to know more online, right? But
Yeah,
figuring out how this AI and Claude and ChatGPT and all these things, right? And it's just like so many sound bites and information overload online, and gurus trying to tell you, but there's definitely a place for that in the insurance world, especially in our business and in our company at Nimble. And so those are the things that are, I would say, the next thing that I'm really wanting to establish in our business is just
yeah,
more on the technology side. We have a lot of good processes, good clients, everything like that. Now it's like, how do we just enhance that, make it better, and not get stuck in a time, where we know this AI and all this technology is out there. And so yeah, that's what I spend a lot of time on right now is making sure I'm starting to at least get my hand dipped into that space.
absolutely. Man, I can do this with you. I know easily another 25 minutes. I mean, it's so many different turns we can take, just talking and having conversation. But unfortunately I got another podcast right after you. But
There you go.
but
So
man, this has been truly a pleasure. If someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, learn more about what you're doing, how can they get in contact with you, Matt?
I think the easiest, if you see my name on the screen, I I say this every time I do a podcast. I believe I'm the only Matt Sutika in the world.
Yep.
I always say, please screenshot if you ever meet another one and send it to me. But if you go to any of the social media, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and look me up, shoot me a message, say you saw me on podcast, I'm pretty quick on responding. That's probably the easiest way, because a lot of people are listening in their cars or whatever. They can't write stuff down. So, screenshot this and then just go to your social media, shoot me a messages. Probably the easiest. My email and my phone are on some of those. So, if that's better for you, but I know how it is when you're listening to podcasts. You're not usually with pen and paper in hand a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
times. So I
yeah.
think that's the easiest way to get a hold of me is on the social media, just because of, the unique last name is easy to find.
Got you. Well, Mr. Matt, let me say 3 things to you sincerely, man. 3 things. First, thank you for your time. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. I know the boss lady is on his side, like, hey, come on now, wrap this up. So
Oh
listen,
yeah.
listen. When they say, give me hand signals if you're okay, So
Yeah, yeah,
if you've
yeah.
been held hostage, but
Below
I'm
the
joking.
screen, I'm like
Yeah,
giving,
right, right, yeah,
and I want to
right,
know the Navy SEAL signals,
yeah, right.
so
Right. But man, no, seriously, I appreciate your time, man. It's valid. Yeah, time is our most precious commodity. So I know we did a podcast all together. That's cool. But really, I appreciate your time. You did not have to be here, but you are. Secondly, man, thank you for your story. Thank you for the gift of your transparency and vulnerability. I put a premium on stories. I believe stories cut through to the soul, man. And I believe you planted some seeds today that people really can take a hold of and allow something to grow within them. So thank you for your story. And lastly, thank you for your perspective, the way you think, your mindset, and bringing that mindset to this platform. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much, man.
hey, back at you. I appreciate the time as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, y'all heard Mr. Matt. Look in the show notes. Check him out. His information is in the show notes. Get in contact with him. Definitely make sure you are subscribed here, because I promise you, we're going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Mr. Matt. So, sir, I thank you again. And everyone else, listen, y'all have a fantastic day.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.